What's up guys, Kevin the Tech Ninja here, and today we're doing an iPad buying guide. If you're interested in buying a new iPad and you're not sure which one to get or if you should even upgrade, then this is the video for you. Just announced our two new iPads in two different sizes. We still have a 10th gen iPad and also an iPad mini. All the iPads are great for many different people and different reasons, and by the end of this video, you'll know the best one to get. We're gonna start off with the cheapest iPad and work our way all the way to the top. Starting with the cheapest iPad, we have the iPad 10th generation, which was released in 2022. It goes up to 256 gigabytes of storage and it will set you back $349. Now, since it being released in 2022, it does have an older processor, which in my opinion makes this device great for, consuming media, but you're not gonna store a lot of stuff on here. It does support the Apple Pencil Gen 1, which charges via the Lightning port. But the interesting thing is that this iPad has a USB-C port, so you'll need an adapter. It has Touch ID and Face ID to unlock the iPad, and the bezels are bigger compared to newer iPads, which isn't a deal breaker, but you can tell its age compared to a more modern iPad. And being honest, the iPad 10th Gen at $329 is a great deal for an iPad. Outside of basic consumption, and let's say you want to do something more, maybe some light gaming or even some tasks that require a bit more horsepower. But if someone told me they want a tablet to access the internet, go online, go to Facebook and do things like that, then this iPad will be my suggestion. Starting at $500, we have the iPad mini. It has an 8-inch screen and 4 gigabytes of RAM and goes up to 256 gigabytes of storage as well. It fits really well in the hand and it can be used like as an e-reader or something like that. It has a fingerprint scanner at the top and USB-C at the bottom. I personally use this iPad as a second monitor for my camera, as you can see right here. Also, I use it as a smart home controller for my house. And I even use it as like a web surfing device when I'm on the couch or something like that. To me, it's the perfect size iPad. It's bigger than your phone, but not big as these bigger iPads, which is a little bit hard to carry. And also my son has an iPad mini as well for his tablet needs. Out of all the iPads in the house, the iPad mini is the one that we use the most because it's small, it's pretty quick, and it's just easy to use. This iPad did come out in 2021, and with that being said, the processor is definitely showing its age, so anything modern like video editing or playing these high-end games that my son downloads, you won't get the performance that you'd want. It does support the Apple Pencil 2nd generation, so you won't get the newest features found in the newest Apple Pencil, but at least it will charge you. You don't have to plug it in for you to charge it. This is the 13-inch iPad Air. It comes in an 11-inch version as well, but right here is the 13-inch version. It has Apple's M2 chip, which is actually the same chip inside of my MacBook Pro. And this chip is very capable of video editing, 3D rendering, and also some high-end games. And it also supports the newest Apple Pencil Pro. So if you're an artist or someone who wants precise inputs, the new Apple Pencil Pro is the must-have. Although I don't take pictures, the iPad's rear camera did get an upgrade. In my opinion, this is the best iPad for most people. Even if you don't go with the 13-inch, the 11-inch is just fine too. But having this huge device is just great. It's big enough to watch a video comfortably. It's big enough to use this as a secondary monitor. It's big enough to use this as a computer. If you're going through emails or doing anything that has a lot of information and data, having this 13-inch tablet actually makes a whole lot of sense. And then we move over to the iPad Pro, which also comes in 13 inches and 11 inches as well. The 13-inch iPad Pro is the thinnest Apple product which has ever been made, and it is outstanding to look at. But outside the thinness, the 13 and the 11-inch has the best Apple display that has ever been seen on any device. It's an OLED screen that looks fantastic, and it rivals some of the best OLED TVs because it has such great brightness for an OLED. I've been watching movies on my 13-inch iPad over my TV, and it's been a great experience. It has Apple's M4 processor, which is the first device to have that, so it can do absolutely anything. 3D rendering, yeah. Gaming, yeah. Streaming, yeah. Anything you want to do on a device that has an app support, you can do it on this iPad. Now this one you're looking at has an etched display, which reduces glare dramatically. So if you are going to be outside a lot working in the elements or you're in an area that has a lot of reflection, this anti-glare display is really good. But if you don't want the anti-glare display, obviously you have the standard display as well. Here's a comparison of both displays side by side. I do find the saturation and the depth and the overall look of the display to be better on the glossy display, which is standard. And the etched display, although it gets rid of the glares and things like that, I do feel that it loses some of the oomph that makes the iPad display great. So there's definitely pros and cons to each display. And regarding the Apple Pencil Pro, I do find that it glides much better on the glossy display, where the etched display has a little bit of resistance. It's not bad at all, but it is something to be mindful of if you are using the Apple Pencil Pro a lot. But regardless of which iPad Pro you go with, whether it's etched, whether it's 11-inch, whether it's 13-inch, this is the best iPad you can get. And it is fantastic. I did a full video on it already, so make sure you check out that video too for my full review. The Magic Keyboard has also had an update where it provides haptic feedback when you're using it. Also, it is lighter too. So you attach this to one of the new iPads that are much lighter. You have a really great experience with this. Now, when you close it down to see, it's not that much bigger compared to like a folio case, and it looks really, really good. And you have this very powerful device right here. I don't recommend the iPad Pro to most people, but if someone wants the absolute best display, they also want to experience the best possible gaming on an iPad. And also they want to run all the apps without an issue. Maybe they want to multitask. Maybe they want to do some 3D rendering or some AR or any type of content like that. And also want to have access to the newest stuff that Apple's going to have, because when they release new products and new features, they most likely need to have the latest chip to do it, whether it's new editing software, whether it's a new AR, VR experience, even Apple's newest AI stuff that's coming down the pipeline. Rumor has it this chip is the chip that's going to support Apple's AI endeavors. So that's something you need to think about when you are buying a new iPad. Do you want to future-proof it, or are you happy with the way things are today? And the iPad Pro doesn't come cheap at $999 for the 11-inch and $1299 for the 13-inch starting price. The Magic Keyboard retails for $300, and it has this floating design for your iPad, so it floats above the keyboard and you can adjust the angle. It is very, very nice. And I have to admit, at times when I'm using it, it feels like I'm on a laptop instead of an iPad. It is that good. I know it's not cheap, and that is the biggest drawback, but I am inclined to say that if you want to get work done on your iPad rather than having a laptop, then the Magic Keyboard is the way to do it. The folio case is another great way to protect and hold your iPad. Although it doesn't provide much protection, it is good enough for you to slip it into a backpack and not really think about it that much. And there's a folio case for the Air and also the standard iPad Pro too. You also have two different viewing angles. You have one that's more vertical and one that's sort of at this slanted view too. Now the folio case feels high quality. It feels really great, but I do feel it's a little bit overpriced compared to third-party accessories too. Other companies make some great folio cases that are nearly half the price as this one. I'm gonna link a few down below that I think are really good if you wanna check those out, or if you wanna stick with first-party Apple ones, I totally understand. And finally, this is my personal iPad Pro. It's an M1 iPad, and I've had it for a couple of years now. And when comparing it to the brand new iPads, I can definitely feel it's heavier, the screen doesn't look as good, but when it comes to performance so far, everything seems to be exactly the same. Now definitely I can boot up some games, and the boot up time on the new iPads are definitely faster, but when it comes to performance, it's exactly the same. But right now it feels very similar to the current iPads that are out right now. Even when I do intensive things like going into Final Cut Pro and going between all the footage, I have no problems at all, and it is extremely smooth. So a lot of the things that the new iPad can do, the older iPads can do as well. The point I'm getting at is if you have an iPad Pro from a couple years ago, I'm not gonna go out and say that you must upgrade, but if you do want something that's slimmer and a better display, then this is a great year to update. Anyways, guys, this was my iPad buying guide of 2024. If you enjoy this type of videos, please let me know. Also, if you are interested in picking one up, use my links down below because I get a little bit of commission and it definitely helps the channel out. Kevin the Tech Ninja, have a wonderful day. We'll talk later.